You're watching the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, Ryan, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is N, it is D, and welcome to episode 150 of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here, we are back, we are better than ever, and I don't know much happened in wrestling this week. I mean, I got my pro wrestling crate. I had a good Thanksgiving. Nick, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good.
It was good.
Not as great as the 150th episode of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. We just once again stop at that and say that this is a monumental occasion. 150.
Episode 50.
Thank you everybody for watching.
Episode 50, we had 5 people on. Episode 100, we had 5 people on. Episode 150, 2 people. That's it. Episode 50, it was Margaret coming on. Episode 100 was Matt Cardona. And now 50 episodes later, it's just me and Nick here. Because Tom was traveling from New York through Canada, got held up, blamed Canada.
Yes, he's currently being held in Canada. Is that
exactly.
Where we're going?
He's being held by Canadian forces right now. So
I heard it was for smuggling puppets over the border. That's frowned upon.
It's that Gerald. It's those French Canadians that Gerald knows. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah. But in all seriousness, folks, 150 episodes, nothing to sneeze at. So thank you to everyone who's joined us on this wacky, wild adventure that we call this Wrestling Nerd broadcast. A lot of fun.
There was a big return though.
I know. It's a former champion returned at Survivor Series on Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, the one people have been chanting, people have been asking. You could hear it all night throughout every arena you go to. That is because former 24/7 champion R-Truth has returned to WWE, and I couldn't have been more excited. Like, let's just be honest. He came out in that Ruffles advertisement. Everyone always frowns at those, like, oh, it's another commercial. And then, boom, guess what? R-Truth's back, baby. And we had Pretty Deadly, too, so I was thrilled about that. So, CM Punk is back, everyone. CM Punk is back in the WWE. If you're wondering why it has been so cold the last 24 hours when we're recording this on Sunday, it's because hell froze over. I don't know what I am more shocked at, the fact that he went to AEW or the fact that he eventually came back to WWE, but this is huge. And before we unpack this, let me just say this. I know personally a lot, and I'm looking dead down the camera for this one, because I know a lot of you that watch this show, and I know a lot of people in the Micro Brawler fan group and Pro Wrestling Tees VIP. When CM Punk came back to AEW, you were so excited. Your post, he's back. Oh, thank you, Tony Khan. CM Punk is back in wrestling. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And then last night I see your post. Oh, CM Punk's washed. He's overrated. Fuck that guy. No, fuck you. Okay? There is nothing worse than tribalism in wrestling. I said in our Patreon chat, I'm rooting for chaos. And that's what this is. This is huge. Like, this is the equivalent of when Tom Brady signed on to the Buccaneers. This is the equivalent of when Jordan went to the Wizards. This is the equivalent of when Karl Malone and Gary Payton went to the Lakers. And I don't mean on the levels of success that those teams achieved, even though the Buccaneers did win the Super Bowl. It's so wild, and you still have a chance to watch somebody who is good at their craft. Now, if you go back to a couple episodes back in September after CM Punk was released, I said that CM Punk invokes an emotion, and I wish that I had been able to film my reaction, because I don't know about anybody else, Nick. I jumped and I screeched in excitement. Like, I don't know. It was one of those things where, like, if I was a betting man, I was not expecting CM Punk to return. I wasn't. And it was fun to think, like, oh, man, what if he came back? It'd be pretty wild if he did. And then he does. It's like, oh, whoa. But yeah, I am excited for this. Again, I have had a love-hate relationship with CM Punk. But I think in AEW, it's gonna kind of be a more business approach to a more structured approach to how this happens. I don't think, you know, there's as many, and I say this, you know, and I don't mean this in a mean-spirited way of saying this, that there's a more structured system in WWE, but that's because they've been doing this for 40 plus years at this point. And I don't, you know, I think CM Punk does have some people that he will have to mend fences with back there. We'll talk about Seth Rollins. We'll talk about Drew McIntyre in a couple moments. But, you know, I think it's going to be one of those things. If CM Punk can come in and be like, hey, guys, listen, you know, this, that, and the other thing happened over there. I'm ready to do business here. You know, it's a clean slate for everybody. You know, if we got to talk this out, let's talk this out. And I think, you know, if he can do that, and I don't see why he can't, I think this is going to be a very exciting time. You know, obviously, when this airs on Tuesday, he'll have made an appearance on Raw last night. If you're watching this live,
He could have already been fired. For all we know, he could
exactly.
be fired already.
But yeah,
punch
I
Vince
look
McMahon's face backstage or something. Who knows?
I look very forward to this. Nick, what are your thoughts on Punk's return?
All right, well, there's a lot to unpack there. But so I didn't think Punk was coming back. I'm gonna start off by just saying that. Like, I mean, I even voted. I mean, I voted for the return of Shane McMahon actually, but I mean, but I just didn't think it was gonna happen. And then, like, as the night progressed, and it was like the "Where's Randy" thing and stuff, I was like, "Whoa, maybe this is like." Started like putting things into my head, and then once I seen Randy Orton come out, I was like, "Oh, that's it. This is done." Yep. So I actually was dozing off on the couch when CM Punk. I literally opened my eyes up and seen CM Punk standing there, and I said, "Oh shit!" So I rewinded it and shout out to Triple H first of all with the old school NXT thing, the copyright in the corner.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's it.
Stuff like that's just so good every time.
Yep.
But I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm excited for it. I feel like we've seen this 4 times now. I mean, you know, like how many times is he going to return to Chicago? Like, I mean, you've already returned, but I mean, this is a new company.
Yep.
So it's cool. But I mean, I understand. You were like saying people were liking CM Punk and then not like. I mean, I can understand like anybody that's soured on him because I was a huge CM Punk fan. I was so excited when he came back to AEW, and I'm not gonna say that I soured like as bad as some people. I really don't care. I'm excited to see him. I mean, I think he's gonna do good in WWE.
Yep.
I don't know.
I'll say this to, you know, I refer back to like Tom Brady and Jordan, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, all those guys switching teams.
Yeah. Like Shane McMahon buying WCW.
Well, no, I was gonna relate it to like, so I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. I've been banging my head against pavement for a long time watching Nets basketball. But Kevin Durant, since he was in Texas and in college, has been one of my favorite players because he was the first player to come out of the NBA or come into the NBA and is the same age as me. So I've just always had that connection. And I loved him when he was playing with Oklahoma City. I didn't hate him like everybody else did when he went to the Warriors. And then when he came to the Nets, I was like, oh my God, he's here. You know, and that was almost that moment of, you know, okay, now he can help this company that I love. And then, you know, obviously Kevin Durant had all those issues with the Nets front office and he demands a trade. He's now in Phoenix chasing a ring over there. I still root for the guy's success. Like, yeah, you know, there's part of me that's like, oh man, I don't want to see Phoenix win a ring. But at the same time, one of my favorite players that I like, I'm not rooting ill will against him. Like, I want to go see the Phoenix Suns play. I like to watch them play basketball. But this isn't like basketball where like, if the Nets don't win, then I got to deal with Knicks fans. Listen to all that. You can enjoy both. You know, it's not like you're rooting for the Commanders and the Eagles. Like people, that's where people are going to draw the line and call you a fraud for that. You know, but guess what? You can like Batman and you can like Spider-Man. They're not in the same universe, but you can still like them. It's okay.
But you know, Batman never got fired from DC and then showed up on the X-Men. I mean, I'm still waiting for that movie to come out.
It'd be pretty wild if he did. But yeah, like I said, I'm rooting for chaos and all this because again, we're recording this on Sunday night, the 26th, so we don't know what's happened on Raw. From my understanding, he'll be a free agent. He appeared on Raw last night. So what happens between tonight and when Raw airs, we don't know. But yeah, it's one of those things where I asked our Patreon earlier. I was like, which energy is it matching? Is it matching when Eric Bischoff came and onto Monday Night Raw and shook Vince's hand, or when Bret Hart and Vince shook hands and started working on that DVD? Bret Hart gets in the Hall of Fame. He comes back to WWE at that last match, as bad as that was. And I said it's Bret Hart energy in a way, because I literally, we all joke like, oh, maybe he'll come back to WWE. He could. We said that for 7 years prior to CM Punk going to AEW. I never thought Vince or that Punk would come back to WWE. And Bruno Sammartino came back. The Ultimate Warrior came back. Billy Graham came back. Randy Savage, from what I've read, was on the verge of coming back into the fold. Bret Hart came back. Never say never, folks.
But you got to feel like it's kind of a little bit of like the dog coming back with its tail tucked between his legs. Like he didn't really. He probably. I mean, I feel like I don't know CM Punk personally, but I feel like he is a man of a high ego.
Yeah,
sees himself in like a certain light and stuff. It has like a lot of. I don't know. I just feel like it's not about money. I don't think it's a money thing for CM Punk. I think he didn't really have a choice. Like where's he going to go? Impact?
Yep.
Where's he gonna go,
No, I agree with you, and I do think, and I said this in the episode we talked about after he was released from AEW. I think it's one of those, he thinks very highly of himself, and he's got the repertoire and the resume to back it up, and he is a very talented in-ring performer. Like I said, he evokes an emotion, and he has that ego.
Do you know he had to do some serious ass kissing? Had to come in there, sit down, and be like some serious.
Well, I'll say this from what I've read on reports, and there's still scarce, reports and whatnot. They said they did this because it makes sense from a business standpoint, and there is a fan demand for it outside of Chicago. Yes, obviously in Chicago, people are going to chant CM Punk, CM Punk. They probably chant CM Punk at Bears games for all I know. Like, that man could honestly run for mayor of Chicago and win in a landslide. I guarantee it. And again, it's one of those, like I said in the previous video, CM Punk sells merchandise, he gets ratings, and he puts on good matches, and he's a great talker. That's what you need. That's what WWE wants. That's what Triple H and Nick Khan and TKO Holdings want. They want people that sell tickets and sell T-shirts, and that's what CM Punk is going to do. Obviously, like I said, I was not buying that retro CM Punk microbrawler. Guess what? I bought the retro CM Punk microbrawler because I got excited about it. It rejuvenated him back to me. Like, I guess the thing about when he left AEW, it just left such a sour taste in my mouth, because it's like, I know there's so much better things that can happen than this, and it just sucks. And then it comes back like, oh, that's not the end. Okay, we still have time to right this wrong and make it an entertaining and a good ending. How long? I think it's a multi-year deal, but now you could just start fantasy booking in your head. Does he face Punk at WrestleMania? Does he face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Because now all those memes that we were doing a couple months ago, like Triple H calling, saying, "Hey Punk, how'd you like to come back home and job to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania?" It could happen, could. But I am excited for it because, like I said, it's fresh, it's exciting. Anything could happen. I think CM Punk should go down to NXT, make these kids job out to him, and just hold all the gold. I think he can win the Royal Rumble.
It's exciting. Like, I mean, some people might not remember it because they're not old like us.
Yeah.
But the most exciting time in wrestling was the Monday Night War, because you never knew who was going to jump, what was going to happen and stuff. And I mean, it was kept a secret. I mean, I'm not saying that this Punk thing was a total secret, because it was like completely, but nobody really knew for sure it was going to happen until it happened. And
so well, it was. I had more. I'd say I was 99% sure that CM Punk was coming to AEW on that episode of Rampage. I was 1% sure, but I was claiming that I knew it.
I told you, once I see Randy Orton come out, I was checked out. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to just doze off on the couch.
Yep. So, and so there's word on whether or not it was a work or not, on whether or not
Seth Rollins
people are happy. So obviously that video is circulated of Seth Rollins flipping off CM Punk. But here's the one thing I'm going to show you. So I've been on TikTok today and I've watched the fan reactions. So somebody who is sitting behind the ramp filmed this whole thing. Now, as Cody's music is playing, they all literally, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but they all turn. Yeah, you can kind of see in there. They all turn. Cody's music still playing. Why else would they be looking at the ramp if they didn't know what was coming? You know?
No.
So, part of me thinks it's a work, part of me thinks it's a shoot, obviously. But you got like Michael Cole trying to hold Seth Rollins back. I think it's a work if I'm a betting man.
I think
I
that
think
Seth Rollins is a professional. Like you really think that Seth Rollins, if Michael Cole doesn't hold him up, he's going to get run up and beat down CM Punk on the rampway, like for a shoot. Like it's not going to happen.
Well, the thing is this, and this is where I go from here. I believe it was at the Royal Rumble last year. They did like one of those like media scrums where like you get like 2 minutes with a superstar and they're like it's almost like a speed dating kind of interview sort of thing. And somebody interviewed Seth Rollins like, oh, what would you think if CM Punk came back to WWE? And he was like, stay where you are, Phil. You're a cancer. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're using fighting words now. But yeah. I think it's one of those things. I think Seth is a business guy. He's a very WWE, if you look at how he's tweeted in the past, Seth is a very loyal company guy. So if they said like you need to freak out, and he's gonna be like, okay, we're gonna make money here. Let's go. And speaking of money, I think that's another thing they said, like people's contracts are going way up to like stay because they're like, okay, we don't want you leaving, so we're gonna offer you more money now if you're mad about the whole Punk thing. And I heard like very few people knew. Like there were people in production that didn't know what was going on with this, and creative didn't even know. So like they wrote out Raw for last night, and didn't even like incorporate Punk. So they had to like rewrite everything. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. Got the Phil Brooks brawler. Phil Brooks is the AEW devil. CM Punk is the future WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So I'm just saying. I think Punk Rollins at the Royal Rumble. There's your match. There's your match. You got 2 months to build because there's no December pay-per-view.
If I remember correctly, wasn't when the Shield first came out, weren't they like heavies for CM Punk? Wasn't that like how it originally was like booked?
Allegedly, but like it sort of wasn't booked that way. Like it was booked that way, but like it never like was said like
the first time they came out, they were like they helped CM Punk and then like
they helped. They triple power bombed. It was what was it? It was CM Punk, Ryback, and Cena in a triple threat match.
I vaguely remember. I just remember that definitely the Shield were like with CM Punk at first, but then they ditched that pretty quickly.
And I'll say this. So before we move on from Punk, when CM Punk fought Alberto Del Rio at Survivor Series 2011 at Madison Square Garden, the only person more popular in that building than CM Punk was Zack Ryder. Because people were chanting, "We want Ryder" all night long because it was John Morrison versus Dolph Ziggler for the U.S. title, and everyone wanted Ryder. Everyone and their mother. And after that, it was CM Punk. And I remember when CM Punk won the the WWE title that night, it kicked off his 434-day reign. And the pop in there, like, keep in mind, this was The Rock's first match back, peak Zack Ryder popularity in his home state, and then CM Punk. And they were all very loud pops. So it's not just a Chicago thing where people love Punk. So let us know in the comment section what you think of CM Punk. Are you excited? Are you going back into your Facebook history and editing your comments that you've said about CM Punk? Because I've looked, people, I've checked your Facebooks there. Okay. A lot of you saying, oh, Will Ospreay's way better than CM Punk. Yet 2 years ago when he debuted on Rampage, you said, oh, he's back. Yay. So stop rewriting your history. The internet doesn't lie, but you do, my friends. I see your Facebook posts, you liars. Dave Boystradamus called it.
We're all actually just waiting for the real best in the world to return. Any day now.
You mean this guy?
Yes, exactly.
Marcus is coming back.
Marcus.
So yes. So that was a big deal. Another thing that was a big deal, if you watch this YouTube channel, was an unboxing video that I put up. because
Awesome.
Pro Wrestling Crate for November was here, and it included a mystery man. It was an okay crate. So, folks, if you haven't gotten your Pro Wrestling Crate yet for November, and you don't want to get spoiled, skip ahead a couple minutes. We'll, I mean, just guess. We're not gonna have any items on screen except the brawler. But so here's your spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. There you go, everyone.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go.
I haven't actually seen the crate. I've just seen the brawler. So like I'm learning right now.
Oh man, Nick, you really should watch my. You should pause the video right now. Watch my Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing.
Actually, right now I'm going to pause. And
So,
we're back.
So we had 2 shirts in it. So do you even know who the mystery person was?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, so it was Tommaso Ciampa. It was a black T-shirt with his blue skull on it. Of course, folks. Again, if you need visuals of this, go watch my Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing video.
Did we do a mystery? Did we mystery person because it was somebody in WWE and they didn't want to get cease and desisted on it?
I don't know, maybe, but I think he still has a Pro Wrestling T store. I'm not sure. Had a Dusty Rhodes T-shirt.
Complete mystery crate. Is it all going to be WWE people?
Maybe. Ooh, good idea. Had the Dusty Rhodes Heavyweight Champ shirt that I really like. Trish Stratus Headlock comic, Eric Young 8x10, Demolition Super Kick socks. Speaking of Phil Brooks, a man we all thought was the devil micro brawler there. And then so a CM Punk lapel pin. It's right back there, like I said in my unboxing video, would go on the corkboard. And the micro brawler was who I called. It is Big John Studd.
Big John Studd.
So I'll say this. This is a very accurate brawler. It's very good. And once again, I like the comment over the chase. So where there's red up here, it is black. It's black everywhere where there's red. These elbow pads, for lack of a better term, are red. Here it's white, I think we said. Maybe.
I think I think it's still red. I think it's everything that's white is black on the chase, and then the dollar sign is on the opposite collar. I'm pretty sure the rope's still red though.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. So where the shoulders here, that is black. The lapel is red with a black trim. The BJS is on this side. The elbow pads are red. The wrists are black. The robe tie is black. The bottom half of the robe is red. And the shoes are still the same. Don't know if there's anything on the back of the Chase Brawler because, again, nobody has claimed one in the Micro Brawler fan group yet. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a good, accurate brawler. I'm sorry if when I pointed, it's not even on screen. But yeah, face is very accurate. Looks just like him. Personally, when I thought of it, I thought they were just going to do him in the white trunks, not the robe, because I just think of him in the winning the 1989 Royal Rumble. But good looking brawler. I like it. I feel like this is the Ric Flair hair. Like if you turn this around here, this is. Hold on, let me grab that. Let me tuck my shirt down here. I need everybody to get a free shout. Where is he? Yeah, it's kind of accurate almost. It could have. Are they doing repaints? Let's see.
Oh no.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like the same.
They use the same hair mold for sure.
It's pretty close. So,
just cool. I don't know if Big John Studd was on my top brawlers that I want made list, but it's cool. We got Big John Studd now. I'm gonna buy it because it fits into my my times that I buy.
And I'll say this. My theory on who's the cheapest at a meet and greet still true. Just saying.
We got these crates pretty well figured out. And this is the last, or no, next month.
Next month, December
is the last of the monthly ones. Since we go buy monthly.
I'll say this: where he signed it, not the best because it's kind of dark on his tattoo. Eric Young though, clean signature. I like that. Like you can tell that that's Eric Young because most guys would just be take away that E. That's some guy's signature, but yeah, it's a good crate. Like I said, I was happy to have a shirt that I liked finally. It'd been a couple crates that I had not gotten any good shirts. So the Tommaso Ciampa shirt is for sale. I don't know if I'm gonna have the Cyber Monday deal still going on. I'm not sure. I got to reword it a little official. So check out our Facebook page because I may or may not have a Cyber Monday special going on for the week. So yeah, decent crate. Again, next month in December, it will be a full-on mystery, except we know who the brawler is. It is Santahausen. I called it. I'm excited for it. It looks really good. 1 of 10 Ultra Chase coming this way.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that because when we did our brawler video last week, we didn't have all the details for that yet. But there's like a ultra chase.
Yeah.
In this one. So there's going to be a chase and then an ultra chase.
Yeah,
was what I told. So it's going to be like all black, and then what was
the common is Sandhausen is red with a green sack, and I think the sack is showing teeth too. By the way, so it's like one of those like in the back display, like displaying it in the case. You know, you don't get the view of it. I think it says "very nice, very evil" on the sack. I could be wrong.
It says "very naughty, very nice" or something.
Oh,
like
maybe something like that.
Like some kind of play on Christmas.
Yep, and then the chase is green with a red sack, and then the ultra chase is black. Yes, so
ultra chase. That's a new thing. I hope that's not like a thing. I mean, people, that's gonna make complete it.
Yep. Again, I'm very excited to get that brawler. It's one of those like if you get a chase, you're gonna be able to flip it, and then people will be mad like, oh man, why do the people that just sell the chases get them? You know. Because I know how to make money, folks. And if you're looking to buy Samoa Joe Chase, you hit me up, ladies and gentlemen. It could maybe that's even on the Cyber Monday deal. Let's see what happens, folks. Let's see what happens.
And I'm sure that a Patreon member of ours will get the Ultra Chase because that is just how it works.
It's going to Tom. It's going to Tom, 100%. 100%. Tom is and he's going to open it. But yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens to that true mystery crate. I just hope, and I don't think I said this last time. Like, I wish they just wouldn't even give us silhouettes of people because looking at the silhouette for the November crate, it was like you can see that it's Ciampa now. But there could have been a bunch of guys on there. Whereas with the December crate, we're like looking. I'm like, okay, could that be Dusty Rhodes? Is that Danhausen? Is that John Silver? This guy. Don't even give me that. I don't even tell me one item. That's fine, but yeah, I'm excited for the November crate, the December crate. So that should be fun.
Absolutely.
We got anything? What else do we have? Oh, Full Gear happened too. We got to talk about Full Gear a little bit. Full Gear happened. It wasn't as good as Survivor Series. That's all you really need to know, folks. I'm just kidding. There were people that watched Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. In that Texas death match happening in California for the second time this year, I might add. This is my biggest pet peeve. It's a Texas death match in California. There are people that are saying it is the most violent death match in modern wrestling history. Folks, I want you to Google GCW. Just watch it. You will think that match was tame by comparison. Now, don't get me wrong. That was a match of the year candidate. Like, that's probably a top 10 match of the year candidate. Just think without thinking about like other great matches we've seen this year. Hangman drinking Swerve's blood almost made me puke. Just a lot. It was a very entertaining match. It was, again, you look at Swerve and you look at Hangman, you're just like, this is gonna be a match, and then it happens. You're like, oh my god! But the build to it was good. The story and the build warranted a death match stipulation because the two guys hated each other. It wasn't just like how WWE when they used to have like, oh, it's October, we got to book guys for Hell in a Cell. Like no, like let's have a Texas death match because the feud warrants it, and I think that helped tremendously. Adam Cole trying to defend the honor of MJF was an interesting way to go about it. And then MJF, of course, stealing the ambulance at the end and coming in and fighting Jay White. One of my favorite things at the media scrum was them talking about MJF, you just committed a felony in stealing an ambulance on live television. Talk about that strategy. He just goes, I don't give an F about the law here in California. I'm from the glory land of Long Island where we let that stuff fly. And I'm like, brilliant. But yeah, Full Gear was fun. It was a great pay-per-view top to bottom. Yeah, it was very and again, and I applaud them with their 0 hour buy-in, however they call it. So they had MJF and Samoa Joe defend the ROH tag titles against the Guns, and then the Guns beat up MJF at the end, and they're putting him in the ambulance before the buy-in or 0 hour again goes off the air, and it gave me very Sunday Night Heat vibes, because I remember like back in the day they booked that so well. They would be like, they would give you a reason to go buy the pay-per-view, and it was just great. It was great storytelling leading in, and it made you have to watch the buy-in. Of course, we all said like the whole time there's only one match you really need to watch in the buy-in. It's this match, and they made it last, so they made it work. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. Very excited to see where this story goes.
Getting Stone Cold vibes, I feel like a little bit.
A little bit. So he's coming in as Zamboni. Oh, fabulous.
Gonna start driving things.
I was just about to say, where World's End happens, that is at the Nassau Coliseum, but the Islanders play at the UBS Arena now. So I'm like, damn. So Zamboni just laying around. Also, folks, speaking of World's End, I'm going to plead my case right now to AEW as I wear a CM Punk shirt, but it is in fact the AEW CM Punk shirt. Let it be known. I would like to take part in the World's End post-show media scrum, because I, along with the Magnificent Margaret and Killer Kathleen Conrad, we will be there. It is our Christmas gift to each other that we're going to World's End at the Nassau Coliseum on December 30th. So AEW, I would like to take part in your media scrum. I'll show up in a suit and tie. I'll be the best dressed man in the room, other than Tony Khan. I could probably outdress him too, though, because I got pocket squares to match the size. I'm just saying. So, folks, get the sub count up. Get the likes on social media up. Tag AEW. Tell them that The Voice wants to take part in the media scrum. Let's make that happen, because that'd be really effing cool if it does. Mr. Khan, I've got my sisters waiting in the car, so I'm just going to make it quick. Thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 17 against the Commanders? Just want to know your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. What are your thoughts? Thanks. I'm going to go catch my ride. That'd be really dope if that happens. But yeah, Full Gear was a thing that happened. Had a match of the show, match of the night contender. Yeah, check out my thoughts on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WNRDB. And then the only other thing we've got to talk about is we've got new micro brawlers that are current. They might be sold out by the time this airs.
Sold out by the time we're damn close.
I don't know though, because there's only 400 of each, correct? There's 400 of each, and these things don't sell out like hotcakes like they used to.
But they're not. This is also not Jack Swagger or Jake Hager in a hat either. I don't know.
Why don't you tell the good people who it is?
So we have Ethan Page and Tay Conte are there. Excuse me, what's her name now? Tay Mello.
Ty Mello? Ty Guevara?
Tay Mello. Sammy Guevara's wife.
Okay.
Those are the two. Cyber Monday, 400 each, ready to ship, is what Parkin said.
They look good, man. I'll tell you that.
So Ethan Page is going to sell out quick, I feel like. He's got a huge following. I just feel like he's part of like the figure community and stuff. I just feel like it's not going to last. The Ty or Tay might last a little while.
I'm just trying to find the
I feel like they're both good. I mean, even though we've been on record here saying that some of the women brawlers aren't the best execution, but I feel like hers actually looks like they're pretty good.
It does, yeah. So only 400 of each, save 20% on Black Friday. So yeah, there's the Tay Mello. It's hard to see with the.
I mean, that's her.
It looks like the hair is there, and then Ethan Page is there as well. Kind of hard to my phone screen, but it's there. It's better than the All-Star edition. But yeah, the gear looks great on Ethan Page. I just wish they had Ethan Page on TV more before showing the brawler, just because it's just one of those things, like it's hard for me to get excited about a brawler if the guy's just not in my life right now.
He's been out for 9 months. He's pregnant. He's about to have
She wrestled when she was pregnant. If you go back and watch my episode after I met them, I'm on their vlog. She wrestled pregnant that show. She had no idea yet. So, but yeah, that was a fun show. So, again, 400 each. They're available on ProWrestlingTees.com yesterday, so they might still be available when this goes live. It might not be. This is why you really want to join our Patreon group, folks. Patreon.com/WNRDB. We break news in there. We share memes. We have good laughs. People yell at me. I yell back because I'm always right. Voice Stradamus is always right. And I think I should come for that crap.
You'll get little merch packages in the mail because they are out. They are in route right now. Some people, by the time watching it, some people might already have them in hand. Maybe I don't know what Thanksgiving did to the mail, but they are en route.
Right there, baby. Right Patreon. There. This
Patreon
is not it.
This is not a test. This is real deal. They're on their way. They're 8 months.
This was not from Nick. These were my passes to Christmas Con next week. So yes. We got anything else to talk about?
No.
No.
That's pretty much all with Brawler. I'm trying to think of anything that's not. I mean, no. That's all that's Brawler.
CM Punk Retro's up. That's it. So it's Tay and
Randy Orton came back. R-Truth came back.
Punk's back
on AEW. Shane McMahon is still floating out there.
So that's enough of that, ladies and gentlemen.
Would that make Shane McMahon be the #1 free agent in wrestling now?
Could be. Could you imagine if you tune into like I don't know if Declan McMahon is a junior or whatever, but can you imagine if he declares for the NFL draft and is in the green room and you're just watching and you just see Shane there and like, what is he doing? Oh, that's right. His son plays for Indiana. What are you going to do if like Declan McMahon gets drafted to the Washington Commanders?
I'm going to buy a jersey.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be like when Kevin Durant came to the Brooklyn Nets, folks. I bought all the jerseys, and then he left a couple years.
Kevin Durant is a huge Commanders fan.
Yeah, we all make mistakes in life, but folks, we hope you're not making the mistake by not being subscribed. So if you click below on that subscribe button, it really helps us out. Again, the more followers we have, the more subscribers we have, the better chance we have of getting me to World's End to be a part of that media scrum in a suit and tie. It's gonna be great. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Share the video with your friends. Comment below what your thoughts are on CM Punk, on Full Gear, on Brawlers, on the Crate. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or X, whatever the hell they call Twitter nowadays. WNRDB, the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast, over on Instagram. And ProWrestlingTees.com/the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. That's nerd spelled NRD, where you can get yourself a Wrestling Nerd Broadcast ugly Christmas t-shirt where Tom says Merry Christmas. Or if you want to support Declan McMahon and Shane McMahon, buy yourself a Ban the Leapfrog t-shirt as well. It's a beautiful design. I should know. I designed it. And then patreon.com/WNRDB, because if you want to chase Micro Brawler, that's the place to be. And of course, like we said, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Again, thank you so much for all your support for 150 videos and counting. So until next time, on behalf of myself, the future king of the nerds, the voice Stradamus, Dave C. the voice, the founding father, Mr. Nick Carpenter. Don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day, because like Kevin Durant's mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone, and God bless America.